Hi there, it's Clive here again, and I'm back once more with more Google Stadia news and updates. So, a few days ago, you've probably seen it in the press if you're interested in these sort of things. Google Stadia announced their official launch games. So, games that are going to be available from day one, November the 19th, if you get your pack, etc., and you've pre ordered games that will be available to play on your Google Stadia. And it's a list of 12 games. There's nothing overwhelming. There's no kind of big killer app. There's no sort of Halo or anything that, was big when sort of Xbox launched and all those kind of things. But I don't think anything, I think you'd be foolish to expect some major exclusive because Google Stadia are investing heavily in development studios, and the big killer app and stuff I think are going to come 2-3 years down the line. But what they have done in these initial 12 games is a sort of a good selection of games, which a variety of genres, as it were, to sort of demonstrate the power of Stadia, and I guess ultimately for you to compare and users to compare with their experiences on PC or on console, etc. So there's no real major exclusives there. One of the titles, we'll go through the titles and I'll talk about them very briefly. So you've got Destiny 2, the collection, you've got Kine, Gylt, Red Dead Redemption 2, Thumper, Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, Mortal Kombat 11, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Just Dance 2020, and Samurai Showdown. So those are the initial 12 games. Now, they're the initial 12 games that are launching or be basically ready to go, play on your Stadia November the 19th. But there are more games that they are releasing between now and the end of December. So basically, there's going to be a trickle of additional games between now and up to Christmas, effectively. So in a way, I think launch game titles, if you look at the launch window being a few weeks, which effectively the launch window for Google Stadia is a few weeks, because not everyone's going to be getting their controllers and stuff from day one. Not everything's going to be posted out and delivered to people from day one. But the games available, so there's, as I say, there are more games available if we look at those after the 90 that they're delivering. So there are more games that they are delivering over 2019. So basically only, like, I hate to say it, but like 4 or 5 weeks really up to Christmas. So you're going to have games dropping every week between now and the end of December, basically. So up and coming, you've got Attack on Titan 2, the final battle, Borderlands 3, Darksiders Genesis, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, and Farming Simulator. Oh yeah. Final Fantasy 15 and Football Manager 2020. So, as I say, more games coming in the next few weeks as well. So that initial 12 is going to be bolstered out a bit more. And then obviously there'll be stuff in January and February, etc., etc. So this is really a sort of a test period. But let's go back to those original games that we talked about there. So Assassin's Odyssey, no great surprise there, because that was tested when they were sort of doing their Project Stream extensively, and they worked extensively with Ubisoft to really kind of get that. So it's no surprise that that title is going to be available. I've not played Assassin's Creed Odyssey, so it might be one that I sort of get into. Destiny 2, the collection. If you are a Stadia Pro subscriber, then it's the whole Shadowkeep with the annual pass expansion pack and the Forsaken expansion pack and some others. So I played Destiny 2 on the Xbox, but I've just got the Destiny 2 Shadowkeep vanilla version, so I don't have any of the annual passes or any of the season passes. As I understand it, the Stadia Pro subscription, it comes with a Shadowkeep expansion pack and the Forsaken expansion pack. So that's quite good. I'm quite excited about that. As I say, I'm going to be testing out Destiny 2 and comparing my experience with it on Xbox, but knowing I've also the added bonus that I've got the expansion packs and annual passes for those expansion packs on the Google Stadia one, and I think it's going to look amazing in 4K and 60 frames per second. In addition, the Google Stadia team, or there was a set part of the Google Stadia team that were embedded with Bungie, during the sort of the port, as it were, of this game. So I don't think it's a straightforward port. I think they've really worked at making the experience, or trying to understand what Bungie try to do in terms of a gaming experience, and make sure that's delivered on Stadia. So I think it will be a good version of Destiny 2, if you like, to be playing on Stadia. So then we've got Gylt. So this is, in a way, Gylt is the sort of exclusive. It's brought to you by Tequila Works, I think. And if you've ever played Rime, which is, I think, is a wonderful platforming game, it's emotional. I'll confess it now. You know, I don't mind it about expressing my feelings. It was emotional. I went on a journey playing Rime. It's a beautiful rendered game, and Gylt looks like it's the same sort of thing. A bit creepy, beautifully rendered, and an interesting sort of platforming game. So I'm looking forward to that. That effectively is an exclusive. It's not available on any other platform. Whether it becomes available on other platforms is unclear. Talking to the developer, they were a bit non-committal, so I don't know whether it's a sort of a timed exclusive with Stadia. But it is the only place right now that you're going to be able to play Gylt. And if you like platforming games like, you know, Unravel or Rime, if you've played Rime, just check it out. I found it a beautiful story, a beautiful platforming game, beautifully done. So that's quite good. So it's interesting. The games that they're delivering are games that have been pretty well received generally. He says, as I go to Just Dance, it's not even a motion capture thing to sort of. Anyway, moving on. Kine, another platforming game, is sort of a puzzle platforming game for those that like it. That's available on some of the consoles and on Steam, etc., and PC. Again, an interesting game, interesting graphics and sort of design style, but definitely one of those for those that are into sort of those puzzle platform games. Mortal Kombat 11. What can I say? Your chance to rip somebody's body apart in visceral, bloody detail. Why not? And in 4K, 60 frames per second, that blood and body parts will be splattered all over your 60-inch TV screen. Enjoy! Now, Red Dead Redemption 2. Obviously, that's been on console for some time now, but has only just released on PC recently, and there have been some major issues for PC users trying to get their settings right, trying to get the graphics card settings right, to really make sure Red Dead Redemption 2 delivers graphically on PCs. Now, the beauty, of course, is Stadia, is that there's effectively one universal PC that it's playing on, which is the Google's Stadia server PC, as it were. So you shouldn't have those issues of trying, you know, my graphic card settings, are they on the right settings? Is my processor, you know, strong enough? You shouldn't have those. Now, it's unclear whether it's going to be delivering in 60 frames per second format. No one sort of seems to have made that clear yet, but the 4K definitely. So I've not played Red Dead Redemption on Xbox at the moment. So this may be one I might purchase, because I'm obviously a big fan of Rockstar games, but I've just, as I say, the opportunity to play it in 4K on a stable system is quite an interesting one. So I think this could be quite an interesting game for Google Stadia, given the trouble that Rockstar have had with the PC launch of Red Dead Redemption. I think if you want to play the game well on a system that works and you know that it's going to work, Google Stadia, there you go. And Thumper, which is, I had to look this up actually, but it's a rhythm game, but it's much more than that. I think it's not a straightforward rhythm game where you sort of, you know, have to punch the buttons at the right moments. It's a sort of psychedelic, weird graphical experience. It's had some rave reviews. It's a sort of an indie game, and it's a proper button presser. Again, I think this will show off the Google Stadia's power. They wouldn't put this game on there if they didn't think it could deliver. The same with all those other games. They wouldn't put the games on Google Stadia if they didn't think they could deliver them well. And Thumper is a fast, furious, kind of graphically hyper psychedelic kind of experience. So that's interesting, a proper arcadey type game. And then of course the Tomb Raiders. I've played most of Tomb Raiders. I love Tomb Raider. I confess, I love playing the Tomb Raider. I love the stories in Tomb Raiders. I love the character development of Lara Croft. The sort of the action, the puzzle elements, the platforming elements. Love all that. So I'm not sure I'll be buying these. I've played them all to death, but I'd be interesting to see what they're rendered like. If you ever watch Linus Tech Tips, whenever they're doing a sort of a graphic card test, he always calls up one of the Tomb Raiders just to see what it looks like and see how powerful the graphics card is. So again, I think this is Google Stadia flexing their muscles to sort of say, hey, check out what a AAA game looks like in 4K, 60 frames per second, being streamed straight to your TV. And then Samurai Showdown, fairly standard fighting game, I think. Not much to say about that one. So those are, as I say, the launch games. As I said, there's other games coming to be trickle out, big names. No, there isn't that killer app, but I was never expecting that. And I think if you were sort of expecting something amazing, then I think, at the moment, it's almost like these games are a sort of a public test, really, just to sort of demonstrate a number of games, a variety of games and genres, AAA games, well-received and critically received games, and show how they can work well on a 4K 60 frames per second, or playing on the mobile or on your Chrome browser, etc., just to sort of show off the power of Google Stadia. There will be more games to come. I'm surprised actually Doom Eternal's not on here, because they talked about that a lot, but I think that's coming in January, February, and there's lots of other games coming in the beginning of next year as well. So as I say, not mind-blowing, but very interesting, and a good selection to really test out Google Stadia and give people an opportunity to try out games that they might like. Yes, you have to buy these, but there's plenty to be going with, I think, and it'll be interesting. I've got some more news on Google Stadia coming up. I'll be doing a video on that as well. There was a Q&A on Reddit, and some interesting things came out about that, and a few little sneak previews of the user interface on the mobile phone, etc., and what it would look like on your screen when you sort of call up the games, etc. So I'll bring that to you shortly. I hope you're liking this content. Please hit subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Keep commenting down below. Those that have commented know I try to get back to most of the comments and respond and engage. Always interested to hear what you've got to say. So as I say, put in comments down below. Please like, share, subscribe, all of that. Hit the notification button, and I'll be back with more Google Stadia news up to the launch very soon. And until then, see you soon.